Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ashta Sakhi की जय, पंच तत्व भगवान की जय, राजपुर जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मई की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल और निताय की जय. Hare Krishna. Very very warm welcome to everybody for this morning's Japa Yagna. Firstly, before we go ahead, on behalf of our leader, I'd like to thank everybody who came in, performed the lead service this morning. So, as always, we move to the next part of the program in the morning program of our Radha Gopinath Circle. So, we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, one verse. Okay, so before I start the verse, let me do a short kirtan. Jayo Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari Go Murari Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Anantadev Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Anantadev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 9, titled The Passing Away of Bhishmadev. We are in verse number 18. If someone is free, they could repeat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, just to increase the volume. Yes. Is it visible, my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is
Okay.
visible.
Isha vai Bhagavan Sakshat
Isha vai Bhagavan Sakshat
Adyo Narayana Puman
Adyo Narayana Puman
Mohayan Mayayam Lokam
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Gudascharita Vrishnisu.
Gudhascharita Vishnishu.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Word meaning, purport, word meaning translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Isha, this, why, positively, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sakshat, original, Atyaya, the first, Narayana, the supreme Lord who lies down on the water, Puman, the supreme enjoyer, Mohayan, bewildering, Mayayam, by his self-created energy, Lokam, the planets, Gudaha, who is inconceivable, Chariti, moves Vrishni's Su among the Vrishni family. Translation: this Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayana, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vishnu, just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with his self-created energy. Purport. It's a very long one. I like to just read the first, and as and when we go through, we will pick up all the important points. The Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the deductive process. The Vedic knowledge is received perfectly by the disciplined succession from authorities. Such knowledge is never dogmatic and ill conceived by less intelligent persons. The mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father. She is the authority for such confidential knowledge. Therefore, authority is not dogmatic. In the Bhagavad Gita, this truth is confirmed in the second verse of the fourth chapter, and the perfect system of learning is to receive it from authority. The very same system is accepted universally as truth, but only false arguer speaks against it. For example, a modern spacecraft fly in the sky, and when scientists say that they travel on the other side of the moon, men believe these stories blindly because they have accepted modern scientists as authorities. The authorities speak, and people in general believe in them. But in case of Vedic truths, they have been taught not to believe. Even if they accept them, they have a different interpretation. Each and every man wants a direct perception of the Vedic knowledge, but foolishly they deny it. This means that a misguided man can believe in one authority, the scientist, but will reject the authorities of Vedas. The result is that people are degenerated. It's such a wonderful purport that, if you just read the purport, it's enough. So what we will do is we will take it as it comes, and pick out the important points. So I'll just tell prayers before we start discussing on this. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्णा। Okay. So we've been hearing this wonderful sessions. Chapters, verses. Very, very great chapter we are in. Very many of the very important shlokas are here. So we'll see today in this verse, 18th verse, right? Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Mayayam Lokam Gudas Charita Vrishnihi. This Sri Krishna is no other than inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He's the first Narayana, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vishnu, just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with self-created energy. So we all know that Bhishmadev is talking. He's on his bed of arrows with a lot of pain, and dead bodies scattered all around him. In such a situation, also look at the focus and enthusiasm of Bhishmadev, glorifying the Lord, Supreme Lord. Okay. Now, a couple of verses back, he was talking, Bhishmadev spoke, right, in almost in 14th verse, Sarvakalam Kritam Manye. So I was asking, why does these bad people happen to good, good people? And whenever we hear this, very often those people who talk these statements normally add their names to these good people. Okay. I don't know who gave them the authority. Anyway, the bad, when you say bad things, reversals. So Bhishmadev was wondering, even being under the protection of the Supreme Lord, why these things happen to you all? Why all the worst things happen to the best of the people? So many bad things, okay? So much so that even if it was a normal person, he wouldn't have been alive. Of course, in 16th verse, Nahi Asya Kaschit Rajan Puman Veda Vidishchitam, there he kind of says, why are so many people bewildered? Okay. However, in the end, he says, all will of the Lord. Now the question arises that who is that Bhagavan? Due to his own will, we are all put into these difficulties. Why we have to go through so many reversals? This question is, who is that Supreme Bhagavan, is answered here. Okay. So, how does Bhishmadev address this? He says, the moment he says, Prabhupada writes in the translation, this Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original. So he uses Isha Vai. Isha is like saying, Illidaralla, Yure, very near to you. When somebody is very close, you address them as this person, right? So Isha Vai, Bhagavan Sakshat, he says, he is Supreme Bhagavan. Even in the translation, it clearly says, this Krishna is no other than. So this is the same Krishna who's got control of yesterday, today, tomorrow. This is the same Krishna who controls the entire universe, right? So much so that even Narayana comes out of him only. Everything comes out of him. So Yudhishthira Maharaj must have asked, if it is this Krishna, why does he tell us earlier? Why didn't he give me advance notice? Or, what is his intention? Why does he tell? So Bhishmadev clearly say that, right? Many verses we saw, we cannot know the intention or even the timing or what Lord wants. What's he doing? No one can understand. It's impossible to know that. Nobody can know his views or his intentions, his actions. That is, it's not our department. It's beyond that. What we can do, we can just simply serve him. So we have seen, right, many times, somebody is very close to us, somebody is very dear to us, wherein we have a wonderful loving affection exchange with them. Suddenly some activities of theirs we cannot understand. It's inconceivable, right? So that is the aspect. If normal relationship in material world is inconceivable, how can we even understand the Supreme Lord? Okay. One point we will see, I mean, I'll like to give an example of Srila Prabhupada. I heard in many lectures how he had wonderful relationship, love and affection with his devotees, right? Many of the devotees could not understand some of the times what Srila Prabhupada did, especially you heard this famous Juhu project, right? All of them said, do not go there, Srila Prabhupada. There's only snakes, scorpions. It was close to the beach and it was a very dirty place. People could not live. And it was a very bad idea. They almost mentioned that. And in fact, so much so that whatever you call that agreement, that agreement was also cancelled. So they all called Prabhupada. I think Prabhupada was somewhere in Ahmedabad. They called him and told him that we have cancelled the deal. Srila Prabhupada kept the phone and he told it, he just wanted that place. He told himself, I am not going to accept defeat. He again asked everyone to start fresh. All right. Now, the point to be noted here is why we are sharing this is it's not that devotees were upset and wanted to leave that place, they said, no, what is it? Prabhupada is not listening to us, and nothing like that. It's just simply their love for spiritual master. Okay. They did not understand his mind, his activity is fine, but the same devotees who had cancelled the agreement had started again. And now we all know how beautiful temple it is. Shri Radha Ras Bihari in the center, Shri Sitaram Lakshman, Hanuman, and on the right side, God Nitai. Beautiful. Okay. Anyone who's gone into Vishu, of course, there's a beautiful Govindas outside also. What I'm trying to say is, they did not give up. They did not say, no, we are not wanting to do, we had advised you. No, their love for the spiritual master, though some of the times what Prabhupada had in their mind, they could not understand. Similarly, Pandavas also had a very great relationship with the Supreme Lord. They continued to follow all the instructions of the Lord, right? Even though many times they did not understand why all this was happening to them, right? So Bhishma Dev is now declaring. Where is he declaring? Not in his room. He doesn't take a mail and write it out, nor is he using a WhatsApp and sending everybody, right? He's declaring to all, not to a private party, declaring to the entire elevated soul who are present at that time, right? We learned that eminent sages were there. He's very boldly declaring that this is the Krishna. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, right? So one more point, very important point, Matajis and Prabhujis here. It is not that all these rishis and sages lifted their hand and told, but how about the devatas or any doubts? It was just a simply, if you may call it, unrivaled statement, right? So Srila Prabhupada always mentions this, right? So it's very important to have a very good speaker. He should be well, it's very important, critical to have a good speaker when you are saying something, but it's equally important to have a good listeners and making a critical analysis on the subject. So it's not just the speaker is famous. No, the listeners are very important. Even in Bhagavatam, all the time, Sukadeva Goswami says, thank you to everybody for listening or for, participating. So otherwise it will be like that famous saying, right? One-eyed person is the king. One kannirono avane raja ante. Yaralli kudr made. So it is like everyone has to agree. It's not very, but here it was not one-eyed, it was four-eyed. When I say four-eyed, they were all, apart from their two normal eyes, they had this Divyesh Chakshu, all super intelligent, renowned rishis, Narada Muni, even Parshuram, everybody was there. And they all simply agreed the absolute truth, right? That's why Srila Prabhupada starts itself by this purport by saying the Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is a deductive process. It's a descending process. How through this Guru Shishya Parampara, right? How a beautiful example. If the mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father, she is the authority for confidential message, it says, right? Same has to be understood from the Vedas. Vedic Shastra means the mother. Shastra is the mother. And if we need to ask who's our father, Shastra will tell us Krishna is the supreme Bhagavan, is the supreme personality of Godhead. Right? So wonderfully it's summarized in the Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter, the Yoga, the Supreme Person. Sarvashtra chaham hridhi sannivishto mattar smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedasta sarvehameva vedyo vedanta krid veda vidyeva chaham. What does he say? I am in everyone's heart. And from the remembrance, knowledge, forgetful comes from me. And he says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Okay, indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta. I am the knower of Vedas. How much more clear can Lord be, right? Wonderful statement, right? Summary. So, is that so many times if you see, I've seen many of them say, Vedapata alla odidare, you're alla expert. You see a lot of Brahmanas who are going around there. Of course, they lead a clean life. But the point is that after learning all that, are they accepting Krishna, or are they thinking always or keeping Krishna in the center? No, they are actually going far away, very depth involved in the manure card of charging, in the current day Brahmanas. So, and especially all the philosophers of the Western world, no, they directly get into Ras Leela and they keep reading that. Then they say, no, this is using their own mental concoction. They come and conclusion that this is all not true. I mean, these are all, stories. However, if only and if only, how many times we have said it's a bona fide parampara, bona fide hearing. Only if you hear from a Guru Shishya parampara, easily we come to know the conclusions that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So back to this verse. There is, the third line says, Mohayan Mayayam Loka, right? So Krishna bewilders everyone. How? Even in material world, in spiritual world. Modus operandi may be a little different. Maya word in material world is through the Yoga Maya, right? But imagine just, Prabhuji's and Mataji's, if you all imagine that this verse we had read, let's go back 10 years or, before we actually became a devotee or came in touch with devotees. I'm not sure how many of them knew who's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even in case we had thought, nammalli an understanding Vishnu Supremo, Vishnu takes some avatara, Krishna or Rama. Why? Because that is how those days we had a bona fide authority called Ramananda Sagar. Okay, because all the TV serials and all the movies he made like that only. Whatever his understanding he gave. So that was our bona fide authority. All of us got in a kind of image sat in our head. In fact, somebody generally when we meet our other colleagues, business associates, colleagues, I try to, whatever I heard that day, we try to share, right? Something nice, at least let them. So when you say, in fact, I used to feel so bad for them, but their argument was, what happened that in last movie you saw, oh my God, I used to think, oh my God, their references. I was actually thinking, oh my God, your references, your argument basis itself is one movie. Please see who's the director. So stupid. That's the problem. The bona fide authority is every time how you see anywhere Prabhupada using this, when you see a parampara system, he writes a long message. It has to be from a Guru Shishya parampara, Guru. So many times he keeps repeating. It's only when we come in contact with pure devotee or even a simple ISKCON devotee, we'll come to know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality and Vishnu comes from him, right? As we heard, normally what we heard, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, that's all. And nobody else goes beyond this. So what did Shankara do? See, here it says, the next paragraph, in the authority of speaking about Krishna as the original personality of Godhead and first Narayana, even an impersonal is as see what Prabhupada is right. Even an impersonal is as Shankara, Acharya Shankara, has said in the beginning of his commentation on the Bhagavad Gita, that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is beyond the material creation. The universe is one of the material creations, but Narayana is transcendental to such material paraphernalia. So, in many Shastras, in the beginning of the creation, there was no Agni, Surya, Chandra, it was only Narayana. So, this information, we get it in many places. When we establish all this, other devatas came in later, and after hearing this, we come to know through whom? Hearing not from, this is, who is speaking this? Bhishma Pitama. Even that Narayan is coming for Krishna. So, he's... Prabhupada writes it, right? What does he say in the purport? Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajans. Of course, we know that. But what does he say after that is very important. Who knows the principles of transcendental knowledge. His confirmation, Lord Shri Krishna as being the original person, is also corroborated by the impersonalist Shankara. So, it is coming from none other than, Bhishma, who declares this in front of all those exalted devotees, right? So, and then of course, there's a lot of details given here. Bhishma Dev says he is the first Narayana. This is confirmed by Brahmaji in the Bhagavatam. Krishna is the first Narayana. And in the spiritual world, there are unlimited number of Narayanas. Look at all these details who are the same personality of Godhead. So many important points. First Narayana, he says, then Krishna is the first. Then he says, preliminary expansion. Apart from that, he gives all this. Lord Krishna first expands himself to Baladeva, then Baladeva expands to Shankarshana, Pradyumna, Niruddha, Vasudeva, Narayana, Purusha, Rama, and Narsimha. All these expansions, very important, are one and the same Vishnu Tattvas. And Sri Krishna is the original source of all the plenary expansions, and he's therefore the direct personality of Godhead. Again, so many places you can get this reference, so very clear who's come from whom, right? So if you if you go back to those past times, just a few days back we had how he was bewildering even the great personalities, right? I'll just narrate one or two to understand why is this bewilderment happening, right? So when Krishna was going out to his work, like how we all start long traffic and then go, right? Here it is not that way. He was enjoying. He also had a lot of traffic, but within himself, because he had to take first the 9 lakh cows, then the calves, I don't know how many, then all his gopas, then he comes last Krishna. So his bag, his lunch bag was not a small Tupperware lunch box. His lunch box was big bag full of kachori, samosas, and everything was there. Okay, and he. Unlike we come out, Krishna doesn't come out without a bath, without new clothes, with bugle is on, right? That cow's horn. And when he was playing, beautifully, I heard in this one of the lectures that it was like as if each Gopa heard his name through the bugle, right? Like how he was calling all the gopis by playing the flute. It's the same way. Each Gopa felt that that sound was only for him. It's like when we make a phone call, rather Govind Maharaj says that when we make a phone call, the other person, of course, comes to know it is me who's calling, but only my voice can be heard. But here, for us, if we have to make so many calls, it's difficult. So whereas for Krishna, he makes one call, everybody can hear. It is a signal for him. So, in fact, so many Gopas were already coming in front of Nanda Bhavan and waiting outside. And it is not as if, like I mentioned, right, he's got his own traffic while he's going. It is the beginning lead. Some of the Gopas were used to take different routes. It's not like same route every day. In fact, today's kids, though, their only route is from first one bedroom to the other bedroom back to kitchen. In fact, especially after the COVID, many of the people have forgotten what is, because they're all doing work from home, play from home, eat from home, sleep from home. Everything has become one, their entire universe has become the 2HK. Whereas the Gopas, every time they'll say, there's something new here, we'll go like this. And of course, they used to meet back. I mean, what I'm trying to say is every day was a new experience, new enthusiasm. Everything around Krishna was fantastic, right? So one such route only, they found out that, it was looking like a main road. Somebody had tarred that place. That's when they figured out that it was nothing but Agasura's tongue. It looked like an highway. They went in, they found a big place. They all went inside. It was like got caught. You all know that pastime, right? But before that, I heard this when Krishna was coming out. I was saying he was dressed up, not like normal. Ma Yashoda Maya used to put wonderful gold ornaments, diamonds, rubies. So beautifully they used to dress. But the moment we crossed the Nanda Bhavan, the moment they finished that side, all the Gopas say, come here, remove all this, remove all this. And they say, we will put this. They will take a simple forest flower, put some creeper, dress him up totally like, this is what is DT dressing. They were actually performing DT dressing there before they actually went. So anyway, so their games were great, right? So out of the world, their games were catching a tie, monkey's tail, climbing, running along. When there is a shade of a bird, they will all run along with that. So very innovative games. When I was even told that, I heard that one crane, they do meditation, one leg meditation, right? Their meditation is only to catch the fish. So the Gopas used to go stand next to that same way, and suddenly when the crane says, he's getting afraid. So, and one beautiful game was they used to go and scream at the empty wells. It's like Krishna used to say, I'm Nanda Baba's son. So same voice from inside, I am also Nanda Maharaj's son. So Krishna was getting angry. Who's this competitor of mine? I shall kill you. Answer again comes back. same repetition. What do kids get angry? They just start abuse and go. I mean, when you say gali abuse, don't think it is the current day abuse. It was just simply chop bhag jao. That's all. And they moved on. So as I was saying, once like this, the new route, they got caught in Agasar mouth. And actually, no one knew it was a Rakshasa. Lord Krishna knew. Please note here, very important. Gopas were inside. They almost uh, were very happy. They just, even before Krishna could warn them, they had gone inside, right? The snake had probably all the acids, right? H2NO3, students can tell us, powerful acids. They killed all of them. So what did Krishna do? Started becoming bigger, 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 and Agasur could not bear it. And, just burst open, all came like a fountain outside. And they were given fresh lives. How? Just by looking at them. Krishna could just give the lives of them, right? So our acharyas even here beautifully glorify, saying what kind of a Mahapurush that person was, Agasur. Krishna used his body as playground, the Krishna's friends. In fact, for next few days, it was used as a game. That place was used like a game. So they glorify that, how could Krishna enjoy? I mean, Krishna and his friends could enjoy, right? The same we heard in the last few verses back also, Brahma got bewildered. So he's like, how is this small child killed Agasur? He wanted to test to know the results, right? So when you see from his Vimana, he could see the boys sitting, and they had a wonderful ritual. Krishna sitting in the center, all the children sitting around him, and it's not as they opened the tiffin box and they put it. No, they used to say, Krishna, take this. Okay. And Krishna used to, this your kachori is great. Fantastic. Next, what do you have? It was like going on. This was actually the offering system they had. They first used to offer, right? And then consume it, right? So, but one Gopa, I was telling last time that this was very, very sweet pastime. Took the buttermilk. He was very thirsty, directly took it in. Mouth was full. What did Krishna do? Said, you have not offered me. He smashed the cheek. And when the buttermilk, what it came, he drank that. Now, this was seen. Brahma is saying, what is this? I do offering. I first take Achaman, pay obeisances. And imagine Brahma has to do Achaman, means first for this phase, that phase, 3-4 Achamans he has to do. And nobody should see while the offering is going on. So all this is happening. What is this? This cannot be Krishna, right? He says he got that doubt. Then you all know what happened, right? After that, he took them for 1 full year. He just wanted to find out, is this the same Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead? Anyway, we all know the pastime, but the point is that all the mothers were very happy. The cows were very happy because the Krishna had taken the form for all of them. Entire year, they used to be so happy. Remember, in Vrajbhumi, first they like Krishna, then only like their children. But during that entire time, they used to see their child so happy. The cows were, I believe, just licking in fact, the small calves have become big. Still, they were, licking. That's why here, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada uses, where is this? Yeah. So, therefore, his movements amongst human beings are another sort of bewilderment. The Lord, therefore, says in Bhagavad Gita, foolish people consider him as one of the human beings without knowing the intricacies of his movements, right? So, okay, we'll have one small question to see whether we are all awake. Where does Bhagavad Gita mention is not there in this purport? Which sloka it is there? So all of you need not open the mic. We can probably type a message in the Zoom. So again, I'm reading. It says, the foolish people consider him to be one of the human beings without knowing the intricacies of his movements. We'll come to this a little later. So, so after this was happening, this Brahma, he got bewildered. Balram came. He saw, Balram was not spared. The point is that he knew that cows were interested only, when he saw the cows are only taking care of the small calf, which became then he knew. He went to Krishna and said, hey, this is you, right? You are playing this, right? Maya, your trick. And Krishna used to accept, yes. So in the last paragraph, Prabhupada writes, said, twofold internal and external energies, and the third one is the marginal. So bewilderment is because of these two, internal, external. right? So despite Krishna being one of us amongst walking along with us, so we cannot understand him. All we need to is just serve all the devotees. We don't have to serve the Lord and the devotees. I'm including devotees here. See, we don't have the Divya Chakshu say who's pure devotee. I recollect last incident and close this. I recollect an incident when Hyderabad President, His Grace Vedanta Chaitanya Prabhu and our dear Varadaraj Prabhu had come to our Madhurapati Prabhu's house. And another Hyderabad devotee. Once we had, of course, we were trained by Madhurapati Prabhu how to receive them. So we did the same thing, Kirtan while they are there. Jai Srila Prabhupada, given aarti to them, and we wonderfully served them and took care of them. He said something very nice, which is again etched into my mind and heart. He says we should not differentiate who's guest in your, whether it's a Maharaj, a Grasta, junior most ministry. We need to be alert and do our best services, right? We need to receive them in the same way. If there is a garland, put that, whatever, all the etiquettes to be formed, and we should show a love and affection. We should show enthusiasm, right? Look at the enthusiasm which Bhishma Dev showed. Despite, we told the scenario, right? It was not one of the best, smelling nice AC comfort with perfume. No, he was amongst dead bodies. His own body was pierced in pain, agony. But how many times he didn't miss this? Though he was addressing Pandavas, he did not miss glorifying the Supreme Lord. Our Srila Prabhupada, any time you see, moment you write he writes Krishna, he'll always, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only way of going back home, and only long purport will be there. Our Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, he is always able to see Krishna and Gauranga anytime. I'm sure all of you had heard that when somebody said, "What, Guru Maharaj, you're wearing a nice T-shirt, that Gap, no international brand." But Guru Maharaj saw that, he didn't realize. He said, "Oh, Govindamadi Purusham." That is the way. What I'm trying to say is always remembering Lord, always having Krishna in their heart. Glorifying Lord and devotees is what we can do maximum. We must first accept it in the mind, right? Whenever some people say it's very difficult to glorify. What we need to do is accept these are great devotees, right? And then words will follow. We may not have the great prayers like Kunti Maharani or Prahlad Maharaj, but however, we can make our own simple prayers, okay? See, one thing is that we keep saying, many of us say mind is wandering everywhere, but also this mind starts accepting inputs regularly if you give it, right? If you daily tell 4:30 I have to get up, see Mangalarati, slowly it accepts, right? So acharyas say with respect, regularly mind accepts it. Okay, these are the few points I took it from today's verse. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. I'm really sorry I went extra 5-7 minutes or so. If I've made any mistakes, please kindly pardon me, and please add on any of the points, because it's a wonderful purpose. So many points. With a limited time, we could do that. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all of you. Namam Dushkunito Muda. Correct. Who is that? Who Vijita Mataji. Fantastic, Mataji. That is the word. Sorry, I forgot to touch base. So, who fools deride me when I descend in human form? They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mataji. Over to everyone, and over to Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nicely said. Who is Krishna? Adya Narayana. So he is Adya. Adya means Adi, means the beginning. He is the beginning of the Narayana. Narayana, Vishnu. They all come from Krishna. So very nice understanding after reading Srila Prabhupada purport. Thank you, Prabhu, for nicely elaborating on the various aspects. So we will wait for the participants' responses.
Yes.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. There are 2 messages. However, if you can quickly, any points to be added? Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yes. It is 4 point, yeah. Somebody else has written the sloka. Fine. Thank you very much. Any points to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, about that different adventurous games that Krishna and his friends were playing. One of that I heard in Nitasivani Mataji's lecture, that while tending the cows, they also came to Maharashtra, Prabhuji, here, Pandharpur.
Okay.
There also they used to go.
Okay.
So from Vrindavan to Maharashtra, they had
Yes.
a-
And because he didn't, Krishna doesn't need a GPS and other system, unlike us. We have to go to JP Nagar also, we need a GPS. So thank you, Mataji. Some wonderful pastimes and games I was hearing. So I thought I should tell. Seeing all this, we sometimes get bewildered how Krishna is behaving. Thank you, Mataji.